when we talk about actions, we talk about kind of 4 pillars that we want to try to focus on an environment, right? We want to talk about the security level of our environment, availability, stability, and then performance. So these rules are going to direct us to different areas that we might want to focus on, right? I could also start looking at things like, well, okay, so we've got areas that we want to focus on. How does it know where to point me? Well, that Insights client that's installed on your systems, be it a RHEL instance or a container, whether it's on a bare metal system or in a virtualized environment or in the public cloud, you have a nice common operational model now to get guidance, right? And we see here an inventory of the systems that we have. What's nice is we can start to break it down into different groupings as well.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Because I might have multiple departments that I'm looking after. Some common infrastructure.
Yeah, that's right. So if we wanted to, we could create a grouping here just for the pure logic IT systems themselves, right, and just focus on those. Now, what starts to become quite interesting is if we find particular issues, let's look at some security ones.
Okay. Right?
Now, it turns out here, right, that there's a certain number of systems that we've been flagged for an open SSH vulnerability. Let's try to actually drill down into those systems themselves. Right? Right now it's telling me that these particular systems, right, are impacted. So I know which ones to focus on. Right? How am I actually going to start taking action on those? Well, if I take a look at the system here, right, I can see it's a pretty simple resolution, but maybe what I want to try to find is an actual way to do this in an automated fashion.
Yeah, because I might have 50 servers that are having a problem.
That's
or the 126 that we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've seen, Shane, is that pretty quickly we can drill down into the number of impacted systems that we have. Now, like you were just saying a minute ago,
How do I remediate?
Yeah. How do I actually take action on all these servers? And wouldn't it be nice if we had a way to do this in an automated way? Well, in fact, we do.
Okay.
So a good example might be if I were to take a look at this list of systems that are impacted by our security rules, you'll notice this column over here mentions Ansible, right? Our automation engine. So where we actually have the icon lit up, we can actually generate in an automated way playbooks to remediate this. So if I were to take a look at this OpenSSH vulnerability, and we see 2 servers are being impacted by it, I can select them, go to Actions, and then create that plan or playbook.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Right? So I could say something like Pure Logic University, right? And we'll call it the OpenSSH. And I'm going to save that. Right? You'll notice that it actually gives me even options on how to actually configure the playbook itself. Do we want to actually have something that forces a restart, or do we not want to force a restart? Right? So quite nice that way. So now I've created a playbook, and if I wanted to, I could actually download that, take a look at it, and through a series of best practices, you'll see it's a well-documented Ansible playbook that's been created that can actually be used in your environment, right, based on the inventory that you selected.